There's this interesting trend that I've noticed of middle-aged, like 40-plus-year-old women taking to TikTok and basically telling their divorce story about how, their perfect man and best friend, and here's why they did it, blah blah blah. Basically, playing the victim in the chaos that they create. I've posted half a dozen of these in the last week. I'm just going to share one with you because they do get rather repetitive. But here's just one example, right? Get some volume and speed this up just a little bit so we get through it a little bit quicker. But here we go.
I'm 42 years old. I'm a single mother.
Can you hear that okay?
Yeah. A lot of people write to me on here in the comments or even in the wild, and they will say that women, especially of my age, are still single because we have unreasonably high standards. And I don't think it's unreasonable, but I do think and know that our standards are quite high because we've been through enough to know what we want and what we don't want. However,
I'm just going to pause it there because she's 42 years old. She's a single mom. This is the kind of gal that you'll come across on a dating app looking for love, the next chapter, finding her person or whatever it is, the lyrics that they use these days with great photography. Like, I think she's probably genuine. I think most people watching will probably say that she's genuinely an attractive woman for 42. She's not really made up. She's wearing fluffy clothing or whatever, but this is the kind of gal that will get a lot of attention, right? So when you hear the rest of this sort of play out, bear that in mind.
Speaking for myself and probably a lot of other people out there, maybe men and women, I'm done trying. I don't want to try anymore. It hasn't worked out for me in the past. And whenever I have tried to salvage a relationship, I have shapeshifted to try to meet some sort of standard or be good enough, not only for that person, but like for their family too. And, especially my last relationship, I kept trying to be a different person all the time. Just, every time I felt something was off or I would feel scrutinized or whatever, I would try to change that part of me to meet who they wanted me to be. And it never worked because it wasn't authentic, I think, and it didn't come natural, but who I was didn't fit either. And one day I just woke up and I was like, if I can't just be me, then maybe we're just people that don't belong together. And that's okay. But I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to make the effort every time, which I used to. I used to make the effort every time. I would spend majority of the time with, these people and their families, or even like dating. Like, I would always be the person to go to that person and to like do the things, make the plans, anything fun, like I would put together. And I'm not just talking about my past relationship. I'm talking about all of them. Like 90% of the time I put in the work.
Isn't it interesting that it's everybody else's fault but hers in every single relationship? Like, you notice that pattern, it starts to emerge a lot of the time, right?
I tried to make it right. When there was an argument, I came with solutions and a white flag, and it still didn't work. So now I'm just not trying anymore. So if you come to me and, we're dating or whatever, and there's some bumps in the road, that's okay. But I'm not dealing with someone being mean or their drama or anything like that. I'm just not, because all I need and deserve in my life, and you too, is peace. Because I don't need to be rescued. I need to feel safe, and I need to fucking lay down and feel that this person isn't going to add more stress to my life. They will actually help lift it. And that's what you need to be looking for too, if you were in this situation. If you were someone that's like, women are too picky and we expect too much. No, we don't. We just were accepting the bare minimum for so long, and we put in so much effort for so long that now we're just like, and you know what? I did this with my jobs too. And I tried so hard with my last jobs and my last industry. And what happened? the company was going down and I got laid off. And now I'm living in this place where I've started a whole life with my child and she has friends and everything. And there's no industry here. It's a beach town. And I have to keep living a life here. And I can't because there's no jobs and no housing. I don't have a house in 3 weeks. I will find one. It's fine. But like, it is wild to me that I'm living somewhere that is harder to live than New York City. And I got there by trying too hard. So what's happened now is I'm so fucking tired that I think I just stopped trying with a lot because I'm so tired and probably a bit of depression, definitely anxiety.
There it is.
I know things will turn around. I think you have to hit really low before you get really high. And this has happened to me before. And I even tell my daughter sometimes, like when things get really, really low, that usually means that they are going to be really, really good really soon. So I am just holding on to that. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to fucking pull up my boots and do this life and try to make it work in the most impossible way. But I'm done. I'm so tired. And if you're in a position like this, let me know. Let me know your.
I'm going to stop it there because she's pretty much done. But this is the gal on a dating app that men will compete for, right? Like she'll get hundreds and hundreds of matches. She can't hold down a job or jobs. She doesn't have any housing. She doesn't own a house, so she's a renter. She can't keep a guy around, and every single relationship she's ever had is always fallen apart because it's too much work for her. And here we are, like guys, this is your option. Like this is what you get when you enter the dating market. You get a 42-year-old chick that looks hot probably in her pictures, but her entire life is a train wreck. And then she takes the TikTok to share these endless stories. There's like post after post of it. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I'd love to see the comments on that and how many simps she has that are like, "Oh my God, you can come live with me. Like, I'll take care of you. I'll put a ring on your finger." But
and those are
like,
the comments as you would expect. It's like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Things will turn around.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're single." And it's like, no wonder like the delusion exists in these women's heads where, where they think that there's a guy just around the corner that's willing to like, she says like, "I'm not looking for, to be saved."
But I want to feel safe.
You don't have a job. You don't have a fucking house. You don't have a guy. You're looking for help.
And you got a kid.
And a kid. Yeah. You're looking for help.
You're going to be homeless in 3 weeks. Yeah. Right. Like nothing says I don't care anymore. Like a 6-minute long video telling everybody how much you don't care. Like it's all performative. Like everything they do is performative. And it's just this idea. It's like part of this is further proof that the vast majority of women live in a bizarro world. Like they live in a fairy tale land where everything is handed to them on a silver platter. They never have to work anything. They've never had to go through anything significantly difficult because this is the kind of stuff that she's talking about. This is your average, everyday, average man's experience.
It is.
Like I barely can scrape enough money together to pay the bills and to keep a woman happy or to do XYZ. I need to make sure that, I got laid off from my job. Oh, that's a problem. Well, now I got to figure out how am I going to make the mortgage payment? And it's this idea that, welcome to the real world, and don't know what she did to chase off the father of her child. Don't know. I mean, she's giving off she's giving me the impression that she was daddy's princess growing up. Either she didn't have a dad or that she was daddy's little princess and he waited on her hand and foot. And then when she was thrust out into the real world and realized that that's not the majority of most guys, or, she's pissed, right? I see that a lot with women that are coming from affluent households or backgrounds where they had a car when they were 16. They had a big house. Then they get married to a guy that's, 20s, 30s, whatever. And then they got to live in a shit box, like a 2-bedroom apartment, or maybe if they're lucky with 2 bedrooms. And they're wondering like, I didn't sign up for this. I need to be accustomed to my standard of living that I've had for the last 20 or 30 years. And that's how they wind up here. So, but it's all attention. It's all performative. I don't believe a word of it. And somebody will swoop in and play Captain Save-A-Ho. They always do.
And, she'll be back on TikTok a year after that with another version of a different story and how she's tired of trying. And again, like
It's like, who is this for? Like, get off. If you're gonna lose your house in 3 weeks, get the fuck off TikToks and start putting in some job applications. Where's your child? Why don't you go feed your fucking kid? What are you doing? Right? If your situation is that dire, then you need to delete. You need to delete Facebook and Instagram and TikTok off your phone and go get a job. Go work at McDonald's.
Something will happen. Something good will happen, even though I'm not willing to try.
I'm manifesting. That's my favorite one. I'm manifesting something is going to happen to me.
Yeah, I'm going to manifest.
A fucking grip.
Yeah, I'm going to manifest something better. And it's just like,
wake up.
Like
somebody sent her money. I guarantee you somebody probably DM'd her and was like, how much money do you need to save your house? Like, I'll cover your rent. Done. Guarantee.
I guarantee if you were to take a look at her medicine cabinet, it would be stacked through with fucking scripted drugs. For
my God. She probably can't pronounce half of them.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.